If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There are creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
We value and appreciate all of our listeners.
We are working hard to provide you with the best quality podcast possible.
If you'd like to help support our efforts, please consider making a donation in any amount.
No amount is too small. Just go to anchor.fm/candid.motherhood and click on support.
Your donations will go towards the purchase of new microphones. Thank you so much, Candid Mamas.
Hello, Candid Mamas, and welcome. You're listening to the Candid Motherhood podcast with Roxy
and Jackie,
where we tell you all about the ins and outs of motherhood.
We share our own life experiences to prepare you for the good, the bad, and the ugly that comes along with parenting.
So grab your coffee,
sit down,
get comfy,
and enjoy today's episode.
Hello, Candid Mamas, and welcome to episode number 5, titled More Than Mom. As a mom, we wear so many hats. A mom is not just a mom. We are caregivers, chefs, maids, referees, receptionists, managers, chauffeurs, nurses, cheerleaders, counselors, teachers, and personal shoppers, just to name a few. It can really wear us thin, and it's not hard to lose yourself in the shuffle. Jackie and I are here today to remind you that underneath all your hats, there is a strong, beautiful, independent woman. It's important to be reminded every once in a while that you aren't just someone's mom or wife. You are an individual. So in today's episode, we will be discussing self-care, whatever that may mean to you, and all the things we enjoy doing apart from being mom and wife. We will be getting down to the root of what makes us who we are.
Hey, Jackie.
Hey, Roxy.
So today we want to introduce you guys to a new episode type that we're doing, and it's called Tell All Tuesday. And we're going to be picking a new topic every week other than talking just about children. We're going to be talking about self-care and maybe relationships and other things. Even we'll be taking requests as well that have to revolve more around adulthood and momhood rather than just our children. So welcome to the first Tell All Tuesday. And today our topic is going to be self-care.
Today we're going to be talking all about you as a person and not just you as mom. And what do you do in your life? And what did you do previous to having kids? What do you do to take care of yourself and self-care that makes you you and not just mommy?
Yes, we're going to be talking about self-care and being more than just a mom and a wife. There are a lot of things that we do for other people, but we don't normally take time, or we take enough time to do things for ourselves. So what does self-care look like for you, Jackie? Because I know that it can look like differently for everybody.
I mean, currently I don't really do many things for myself. Mostly it's for the kids, but what I do for myself is I like to get my nails done. So I usually go every 3 to 4 weeks to get my nails done. I'm the type of person where I need to get dressed every day, put on clothes, put on makeup, do my hair, Doesn't even matter if I'm not going anywhere. Like even during COVID, when we were in quarantine, I would like get ready every day and put on makeup. And Rob's like, why are you doing that? We're not going anywhere. And I don't know. It's just something that I like to do to make me feel better.
How does that make you feel getting ready like that? What happens if you don't get ready? Like, how do you feel?
I mean, I just feel like a bum, kind of like you're just laying around, like not productive. I mean, I could just be laying around too, but if I have a makeup on and jeans and a t-shirt on, I just feel better. I mean, I feel like if something would happen, I'd be prepared.
Yeah, it's like that old saying, always be ready. You never know who's going to knock on your door.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't have very many friends here in New York. I have some friends that I met when I went to baking school. So we hang out pretty much once a month. And we just got together maybe 2 weekends ago. And we made like carrot cake pops for Easter. We're always just getting together once a month to bake something or cook something. And it's just nice that I made a bunch of friends while I was taking that class.
That is nice. When did you go to baking school?
Right after I left working at Carter's. I enrolled in baking school in like December of 2018, but I didn't actually start classes till like March of 2019. And I spent a few months. It was a professional baking class. And I went twice a week for a few hours at night. And it was great. I got like a certificate of completion and I learned a lot of stuff. And from that, I started my own cookie company. So in January of 2020, I started the Cookie Jar, which is a cookie company that I do from home. Obviously, COVID hit right after that. So I didn't get to do what I wanted to do. I had plans of going into the farmers markets and, selling the cookies there. So I had to put it on the back burner for a little bit, but I did come back to it in midsummer. And I did it up until probably Thanksgiving, maybe early December of 2020. And then I just stopped because it's a lot of work. I make everything from scratch and it's all cookies. So that takes up a lot more time than I have. But maybe one day I'll have my own bakery.
So is baking something that you do kind of like for self-care?
Oh, yeah, I would say definitely. Especially during quarantine. Every weekend, I made a dessert and a dinner. I mean, I make dinner every single night, but like I made something special, Yeah. And I just like went through dessert after dessert after dessert. And I just like made all different things. I made breads, I made cakes, I made pies. I mean, I went crazy. And
by the way, if you ever want to see any of the desserts that Jackie makes, just check out our Instagram page at Candid.Motherhood because she always posts everything that she makes up there and everything looks delicious all the time.
Thank you. So what do you do that's self-care for yourself?
There's a lot of things that I try to do for self-care. I don't know how consistent I am at doing it, but every once in a while when I feel like I need to pick me up, I'll do it. My daughter likes to paint nails. So every couple weeks we'll do our nails. We'll have like a little nail night. But just looking at your nails all done up. Yeah. Like you said, I don't have the patience or the time to go to a nail salon or the money really. So I like to do them at home. We just go buy some colors at Walmart and we have a whole shoebox full. So we have nail night at home. Unlike you, I'm actually not the type of person that gets up every single day and puts makeup on. I do get dressed, but I don't always put makeup on. So on special occasion days when I want to feel extra pretty, I'll do my makeup, I'll do my hair, and especially on Sundays, like right before church, I like to do that. So that makes me feel good about myself. I know that self-care can look different for everyone. So what I do for self-care, what Jackie does, might look different than what you do. But the most important thing is that you're feeding your physical well-being, your mental well-being, emotional well-being, and that you're doing something healthy for yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
just being a mother doesn't define you. You know, eventually your kids are going to get older and they're going to move out, and then it's just going to be you and your husband again. So what are you going to do that's going to take up your time and, you know, make you happy? I know I've heard it from a lot of people that they go through the mom life and they do that for years and years, and then the kids leave and they're like, I don't know what to do with myself now. You know, I have all this free time. I have no one to take care of because everyone's gone. I know another thing that I like to do, which I really haven't done lately, I like to read books, and I like to actually read like physical books, not like on the phone. I'm not really like a big phone internet person. Like after a while of scrolling on the phone all night, I can't take it anymore. I just put the phone down. I don't know. I'm not like into the whole phone thing as much as some other people are. You know, I'm not really like attached to my phone like that. So I'd rather just sit and read a good book instead. I like to watch TV too.
I like to watch TV too. I like to like dive into a new season of something and just kind of like binge watch it in one day, you know, like on a lazy Sunday or something.
Oh, I love my murder mysteries. That's what I'm hooked on lately.
Oh, I love murder mysteries too. That's like on my favorites list. But I just started a new show on Netflix called Good Girls, and it's actually pretty good. If you have Netflix, you should check it out. It's actually not that bad.
See, I got to get with the times here. I don't have Netflix.
We just canceled our cable because it was so expensive, and we ended up getting Netflix and Hulu and Amazon Prime. So we watch all our movies through there now.
Yeah, I mean, I know like a lot of people say too, don't put a TV in your bedroom because it like takes away from the bedroom. But I have a TV in my bedroom and I watch it often. I mean, you know, if Rob's passed out because he's worked all week and he's tired, I don't want to sit there and just stare at the wall. I want to watch TV if I'm not like reading a book, you know?
I actually think that the TV is a better option than your phone, because when you're on your phone, you kind of like both are just looking into your phones completely separated. But at least if you have something on TV, you're both watching the same thing too.
Mm-hmm. You know, that's another thing that comes into like mom self-care, you know, having date nights, going out with your significant other. I think that's very important. Like I said before, motherhood doesn't have to define you. You don't have to just be mom. You know, you can have a life also. You can have friends. You can have hobbies. You can go out. Mom guilt is real. And I experience it quite often where I'll go out. I want to go out. Like I want to get away from my kids. And then I'm out. And then I just want to go home and be with the kids. It's like the weirdest thing. You feel guilty about the weirdest, stupidest things. I could be out with my baking friends, I don't know, for a few hours. I'll come home maybe like 11:30, midnight, which I'm never out that late. Never, ever, ever. And I feel guilty about it. But like you shouldn't feel guilty about it. You should have a life also.
I agree with that. You should definitely make it a priority rather than treating it as a luxury, because that's really something that you need for your overall mental well-being. Mm-hmm. And one of the hobbies I enjoy doing is painting, and it's hard to do that around the kids without wanting them to paint with you and everything. Yes. So once I put the baby down for a nap and I have some free time, I like to paint, you know, just anything that expresses what I'm feeling that day.
See, that's one thing that I did before I had kids. I painted, I drew, I was really big into art. And when I had kids, I put that on the back burner. Like I can't really paint right now because it's like you said, they want to just be in it and they don't let me do anything. Like I tried, Rob bought me a piano because I wanted to learn how to play piano. And I can't even sit and play like 2 notes because they're over there touching it. So it's frustrating, but you know, and I'm like, my kids are in school. So they're old enough now that they're both in school. So during the day, I would have free time to do these things, but I have to work. So I work while the kids are in school, and then, I get them off the bus. And when I get them off the bus, then it's back to mom mode again. So I don't really get a lot of like self time unless it's if the kids are in bed, asleep, or they just happen to sleep at the grandparents' house.
That's a good point to make, that you need to carve out time for yourself. Like, say, I don't know, every Friday from 7 on, like that's going to be you time. And maybe that night can be the night that Rob puts the kids to bed or something. Or maybe you can, I don't know. I know not everybody's comfortable with it, but you can leave your kids with a babysitter, and maybe that can be like your night to go out or whatever it is, because I feel like it's really important to carve out time for yourself. Like every once in a while, I'll just be like, hey, Martin, your turn to watch the kids. I'm going out with my friend tonight, and I'll just go to her house instead. And, at least it's a change of scenery.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know. I feel like you definitely need that time to yourself. The kids take up a lot of time. So, and it's, you feel guilty, like I said, when you want to try to do something for yourself. And everybody always tells you, or at least for myself, you got to take care of yourself first. Take care of yourself first. You eat first, then feed the kids. It's not like that though. It really is not. When you're a mom, it's the kids first, husband first, then you. At least that's how I am.
I always feed the kids first, because I feel like once I get them out of the way, then I can finally like relax and focus on my own meal without being interrupted. However,
that's the only time they're kind of quiet, right? Is when they're eating.
Right, exactly. But reality is not like that. I'll make them food, and then I'll sit down to eat, and they'll all be like, ooh, what you eating, Mom? Can I have some?
I know, maybe one day we'll be able to eat a meal where somebody's not picking off your plate.
And you know what? By the time we get there, we're going to be feeling that mom guilt, because we're going to be like, oh man, we're eating alone. I wish my kids were here with me, asking me for food, right? Yeah. We're never happy.
I feel that way a lot too, because really, like you said, I give the kids their dinner probably at like 5:30, 6. It's pretty early that they eat, and they sit at the table and eat by themselves. And then, Rob gets home late at night, so I wait to eat dinner with him. So then me and him are eating dinner. So we don't eat dinner as a family, which I know is probably not the greatest.
Yeah, we try to eat as a family as much as possible, but it doesn't always work out that way in 2021, because just everyone has such busy lives, I mean, my kids are still young enough where I have to drive them everywhere. So they're home when I'm home, but my husband isn't always home when we're home, or he'll have a different eating schedule than we will, because he gets up at a different time than we do. And so and the kids want to eat earlier. So like you said, it's hard to always eat together as a family. But I think the most important thing is that at least one meal eat together, it doesn't have to be all 3 meals.
Yeah. Well, that's another good point too, is like my diet is different than my kids' diet, because I'm like on a diet, and they're on like the kids' diet,
Right.
So
which includes everything.
Exactly. I'm not going to eat what they're eating. And I don't know. I'm sure this is more relatable than I think, but I make them what they want, and then I make me and Rob what we need to eat for dinner. So it's really like one meal for everyone.
I try to make it easy on myself, and I'll just make the same meal for all of us, but maybe just make a different side for the kids, because I know that my daughter is going to complain about eating mashed potatoes. So I'll just make fries in the air fryer and call it a night and not have to fuss about it, So I try to make it as easy as possible. And I just, if I'm on a diet, which dieting is actually part of self-care, because you need to put the right types of foods in your body. Yeah. And I would call it more of a lifestyle, like way of eating, rather than a diet. But you're right. you can't be eating French fries and chicken nuggets like the kids do, because it's all going to go straight to the hips.
Sure is. I look at a donut and I gain 5 pounds. So
I feel you.
not happening. But,
Yep, same thing.
along with being more than just the mom, I do think it's important that you take the time to reflect on yourself, have alone time. Everybody needs alone time. You need time with your husband. You need time with your husband and your kids. You need time with you and your friends, but sometimes you just need to be alone. Don't talk to me. Don't touch me. I don't want to know you right now, and you do whatever makes you feel good, but you definitely need to take that time. And it may feel like you can't, especially during the newborn stages, but I think it's definitely critical to ask for that help. And I don't think that people would feel like it's a burden if you're asking for the help.
Yeah, you're right. It is definitely important to take that time just for yourself. And one thing that I do that could be considered self-care for me, at least, is I'm actually an introvert, so I need that alone time.
Mhm.
And I know that the more introvert you are, the more you enjoy being alone.
Yeah.
So for me, I need that alone time to decompress and everything, or else I am stressed out for the whole day. So something that I do for myself is I try to wake up really early in the morning before the kids wake up, say like 6 a.m. And I try to get at least a jog in or a walk or something. And then I do like my daily devotional, and I'll just read a word in the Bible, because for me, that's what makes me sane and keeps me calm for the day. It kind of sets the tone for me, a good morning routine.
See, I'm more of a night person. I mean, I have my morning routine, but my morning routine, everyone's already out of the house. So it's just me getting ready to go to work. My night routine is really more of my relaxing time. That's when I'll read my daily devotion too. I'll read the Bible. I'll read a book. I'll watch TV.
Yes, I need that time sometimes at night too, every once in a while, but that morning for me, before the chaos and the mommy, I need you, that is the thing that I need to keep me de-stressed throughout the day. Because if I don't get that, I notice that I wake up like super stressed out and I'm yelling more, and like the littlest things will set me off, and it's because I didn't have that time in the morning to decompress.
See, like I have to often remind myself to stop, eat something, and just like not be so on the go, high strung all the time. Like take a breath and relax. Like, if you don't get to do something right away, you can put it off. But I have a hard time doing that, because if I, in my mind, know that I want to do the laundry, I want to do this, and I want to do that, if one of the things doesn't get done, then I start to like stressed out about it. I used to like going to the supermarket by myself, but now that I do Instacart, I know I do not want to be in the supermarket if I am not working.
I enjoy shopping alone. That is one of definitely the perks of having the kids that are a little bit older. I can leave them home with dad and, just be like, hey, I'm going food shopping for an hour. And it just makes my trip so much faster.
Tell me about it. When you take the kids places, I was taking them to Walmart the other day, and I had to literally yell at them every 2 seconds. Stop touching. Don't sit on that. You just knocked this whole thing over. Why can't you just sit still for 2 seconds? We're in a store. Act like a human, not an animal.
And right. Stop putting things in the cart. No, you can't get that. Exactly. I said no already.
Exactly. Lacey
I know how it is.
Lacey threw a hissy fit because she wanted these like little beanie babies for $10 at Target. And I told her no. I'm like, you don't get something every single time you go to the store. And what happened was, the reason that I was going to Walmart was because I had an eye infection and I had to get rid of all of my makeup. So I wanted to go buy all new makeup. And I only had time to do this with the kids. So obviously that was something that probably I would have enjoyed doing by myself, looking at all the different makeups and really picking out what I wanted. But instead I had to do it with them, and it was a nightmare. And I just rushed and picked like what I had before. I didn't really get to look. So, I mean, sometimes you just really need to, if you have people that you can lean on for help, do it. And just tell them like, I really just need to get out of here for a little while, you know?
Yep, I totally agree. I was just like you. I used to love shopping before I had kids. And another thing is that whenever I do go shopping, I never end up getting anything for myself. And I always end up buying stuff for the kids. Like,
Yep.
okay, I'm going to go buy clothes. And then I end up buying an outfit for my sons and my daughter. And then I come home with like nothing for myself. And I'm like, what the heck? I went out for myself and didn't get myself anything. So I think buying yourself something nice every once in a while, something that you enjoy, and new shoes, purses, sweaters, whatever it is that like makes you happy.
Yeah.
I think every once in a while you deserve to treat yourself to something.
Yeah, it's like, you know, you'll spend $80 on shoes for the kids, or you'll spend $300 on a summer wardrobe, but I won't spend $20 on a new bra or $10 on a pack of underwear, you know?
I agree. It's like, do I want to spend the money on this, but I'll blow it on the kids, like no problem.
It's like, okay, this pack of underwear that I really need is like $10. But there's like some Pokemon cards over here that are $10 that I know Nate would love. Let's get the Pokemon cards. Like, really?
Right. I'm the same exact way. And I'm like, why do I do this to myself? Like, I'm wearing underwear with holes in them. And here my kids are rocking brand new shirts every other weekend.
Spoiled.
We just love our kids too much.
Yeah, well, you know.
Is there such a thing?
You know, I mean, I guess my dad, my mom tried to give me everything as a kid. I guess you could say I was spoiled, you know, so you want to do the same for your kids. But after a while, like every day you're at the store, or every few days, and you're looking, you're like, what the hell am I doing? How many toys do they need?
They don't need any more toys. They play with it for 5 seconds and it ends up in the bottom of the toy box. And they probably have more fun playing with the box anyway. I know that one thing that can be considered self-care that I know that moms definitely don't get enough of is sleep.
Yes, that's a good one. I mean, I know now.
I know for myself, like if I get 5 hours of sleep, that's a good night for me. But really, I mean, humans pretty much need 7 hours, not 5. So we're always running ourselves so thin.
Yeah, I agree. I guess in a way it does get a little bit better when the kids are older, because I have a 6-year-old and an 8-year-old, and they don't really require as much, you know, on terms of sleeping. But I feel like as I get older, I wake up earlier and earlier, you know, like I always say, I used to like make fun of like my grandparents and stuff, you know, you're up at 5 a.m, but it's just like, I can't sleep past like 9 o'clock anymore. The other day, I think I slept till 11. I don't think I was feeling good. I don't remember why, but I slept till 11 and I felt so guilty about it. It felt great, but I felt guilty about it. I just want one day to just be able to sleep like from nighttime into the next day and sleep and wake up whenever you want. I know that's one thing before I had kids that I did all the time. I used to sleep till like 3 in the afternoon, 4 in the afternoon, and I didn't care.
I don't really get that much sleep, and it's never a solid 5 or 6 hours of sleep. It's always broken up because I still have I have 2 older ones, but I still have a little one, and he likes to wake up at night still, maybe sometimes twice on a good night, once on a really good night, but he really has yet to sleep through the night consistently. So I'm always up, and it's always somebody uses the bathroom, wakes me up, or the best one, and the scariest one is when they need something from you, but they don't want to wake you up. So they stand at your bed and stare at you until you wake up. And when you open your eyes, you're completely freaked out.
There's actually a time when Lacey was younger, where I like refused to go in her room at night because I swear to God, she was possessed or something. She would sit up in her bed and she would be talking with her eyes open, but she was asleep. And I'd call her, she wouldn't answer me. I'm like, I'm not going in there anymore. This is creepy, and she did that like for a while. She would make noises. She would sleepwalk. Definitely come in your room.
It's probably a version of sleepwalking, because my daughter, she does the same thing. She'll come into our room, start opening up our drawers, and I'd be like, what is she doing? It's 2:00 in the morning. And then I realize she's sleepwalking, and I'll have to like walk her back to her bed and lay her down.
That's so funny.
It happens. I mean, I think it's a phase that kids go through sometimes.
Yeah. Well, some of these phases are definitely interesting.
For me, another way that I do self-care for my spirituality is I go to church on Sundays, and a lot of times I want to take the kids with me because I feel like it's good for them. It's good for them to start getting used to this and introducing them to like God and all these good values that I cherished growing up. But I know with COVID lately, a lot of the churches, especially mine too, haven't had childcare. So I have to bring the kids into the service with me. Yeah. And it's like, I can't even enjoy myself. I can't even hear the pastor. I'm here trying to stop the kids from fighting. Yeah. So for me, one of my things for self-care during COVID, at least, is to go to church alone and just leave. Like, my husband doesn't go to church, so I leave him with the kids on Sunday mornings every couple times and just go by myself. And it's relaxing. I can focus. I can really worship without having to worry about breaking fights up and keeping the kids quiet and stuff like that.
Yeah, we used to go to church on Sundays also because they had childcare at a certain point in the service. The kids were allowed to go upstairs and play. But then COVID hit and they were doing like drive-through services. And then Sundays, really, like on Sundays, we try to just have like family day and do like stuff for us. It's really Rob's only day off. And then our church started doing Thursday nights. They have an empowerment service. And so we've been going to that. We haven't gone in a few weeks though, because Rob's hours changed at his job and he gets home so late that we can't even make it there. But when we were going, I used to have my mother-in-law watch the kids because it was only an hour and they don't want to go. They go to private school, they go to a Christian school as it is. So they learn about God all day long. And that's not anything bad, but they just like want to be done. They don't want to then go to church from 7 to 8 and sit there. They just want to be home because this school is a lot of work on them.
Right. They're mentally done. They're exhausted. I feel the same way. My church has service on Tuesday mornings and also Wednesday nights. And I go to the Tuesday morning one because I feel like in the morning is when I can get them to be on their best behavior. Yeah. But on Wednesday nights, there's absolutely no way I'm going to shuffle all the kids to church at 7 p.m. when it's an hour before bedtime. They're going to be running around, going crazy because they're tired and they're not going to be listening. So I'm like, no, forget this. Like, I'm not going to stress myself out over this. I'll just do it when I can, or if I can get the baby to sleep beforehand, then I can go, but that doesn't always happen.
Me and Rob had been talking about like once a week going to play pool or going bowling or something like that, just to have a date night. But the problem is that I don't have anybody to watch them. It becomes like a process. Take them to my parents' house, drop them off, go pick them up, come home. It's like becomes like a hassle and it's not fun anymore,
I agree. Me and Martin also talked about date night, and the first question that always comes to mind is who's going to watch the kids. And it would be so nice if someone can come to us and watch the kids at our house, because then we don't have to spend the time driving the kids to where they need to go, wasting a half hour driving them and coming back. You know what I mean? When someone can just come to our house, I think it's really important to have a trusted babysitter that can maybe just come to the house, put the kids to bed even, And
See,
then, you can come home and just relax.
we don't have a babysitter, nor do I even really know of one. They're just so expensive, and one thing that when Nate was doing karate, they would have like these parent nights out. And you can go there. I think you had to pay maybe $20, $30 or whatever. And you were able to leave your kid for 2 hours or 2.5 hours, something like that, and then come back. Other than that, though, in where I live on Long Island, there is nothing like that where you can go and drop your kid off and then go do what you want to do and then come back. It's not like that. And I don't know, like we just took them to Urban Air this past weekend, the trampoline park. There's no way that you're leaving your kid there unattended. You have to be there.
No way.
Not in these days. Like when we were kids, drop me off. I'm fine. See you later. Pick me up in a few hours. That was fine. You can't do that these days. And like I said, there's nowhere that offers the parents' night out. When we vacationed in Delaware, they had like a bounce house place, and they did like a, parents' night out every like weekend or something like that. So that was nice. But really over here, I haven't found anything.
Yeah. Also, what you said before, like I have a hard time trusting people too. And I think that's one of the things I need to work on is being just a little bit more open to having somebody come into the house. But, with everything that you hear these days, all these stories that you hear, it's really fearful to leave your kids with a stranger and you never know what happens.
I even feel weird sometimes, like letting them go in the backyard and play by themselves. Cause I don't really have like the way my house is set up. I can see the backyard and I can see them looking out certain windows, but it's not like really accessible like the way you would think it would be. My house wasn't really converted the way they are now. Like the deck that goes to the backyard, there's a door in Lacey's room that goes to the deck. So it's not like there's sliding glass doors in my kitchen that I go out on the deck, so. But when I let them go play in the backyard, it makes me nervous sometimes. How the hell do I know that somebody's not going to go in the backyard and take them? And
can you trust them to stay where you want them to? That's another thing.
Well, I let them play. And one time Nate had to go to the emergency room because he was playing with a measuring tape and cut and sliced his finger open and needed stitches. So, it's not, when I was a kid, I was out, I rode my bike every day. We were out until it got dark. My parents didn't have to call. We just knew like when it was dark, you got to come home. And, I have a park that's like 2 blocks away from my house. I won't let them go by themselves. They think that they can handle it. It was funny because I have twin nieces who are 10 years old. And last summer they were at the park and they wanted to walk home by themselves. And I said, well, I need to walk home also. So like, no. And also no, because you do not have the right frame of mind to protect yourself or even like the strength to protect yourself if something were to happen. You don't have that ability in your head to think of like what to do. And neither, I don't think, would we, if somebody's going to try to attack you, how much time do you have like to really react? So, I felt like they're not old enough yet to be able to do that by themselves.
I was actually thinking about this when I was driving home today from my mom's house. I was thinking, I remember when I was a kid and me and my friend used to ride our bike into like the woods and the trails all alone by ourselves. Yeah. There could have been like anybody in there waiting for us. Yeah. And we didn't know the dangers of it, but we were just like, yay, we're having fun in the woods. Like we could have literally got eaten by a bear. Like who cares? Like nobody would have known. Yeah. But it's scary because one time this guy actually, he did try to lure us into his property and we started running because we were afraid, we were a little bit street smart because we hung out in the street a lot more as kids than our kids do. Yeah. So I do feel like they're shielded a little bit from all of that. But yeah, I do remember having to run away from this guy who asked us if we wanted to pet his dog one time. And we were like, nope, we don't want to pet your dog. Goodbye.
That's so weird that same exact thing happened to me. I think I was like maybe 3 or 4, and I lived in an apartment complex, and my grandparents came by to visit, and they saw a little girl walking with some man. And my grandma goes, wait, that's Jackie. Who is she walking with? And apparently I don't remember this at all, but apparently I told my grandparents that he said that he had a dog. I wanted to pet the puppy. So if my grandparents didn't show up, I don't know what would have happened to me. But again, it goes again with the self-care, just really being able to take that time for yourself. So that way you can be the better mother and make sure that your kids are safe and secure and have the things that they need. And you're also in a good state of mind, and physical, mental, spiritually.
Yeah. I also think I'm kind of lucky that, well, maybe this is a reason why we picked the house that we live in, but the neighborhood that we live in is fairly safe. It has a pretty low crime rate. And we have crime watch in our neighborhood. So the cops are constantly patrolling our neighborhood. So we feel really safe in our neighborhood, to the point where we do let our kids roam free, like we tell them to stay together so they're never by themselves. There's always at least 2 or 3 kids together. But yes, I do let my daughter, she's about to be 9. I do let her go on bike rides with her friends, but that kind of like gives me time to myself, because I can call up her friend's mom and be like, hey, the kids are headed to your house, and she'll watch them for a few minutes, then they'll go to the other mom's house. So we kind of like all take turns watching each other's kids, which is nice. Cause they say it takes a village. They're not joking. It really does take a village, and we're always looking out for each other.
It's nice that you have that. Cause like I have one mom friend, but they live close, but they don't live close enough where I could send Nate out to go play with them. It's not like that. So I don't have like anybody in the neighborhood that really has young kids where I can just go send them to the neighbor's house. So it's always on me to entertain these kids,
So I know for me, whenever I'm feeling exhausted and weary and just feel like I can't get going, I have a favorite Bible verse that I always refer back to, and it says this: Jesus said, come to me, all of you who are weary and carry heavy burdens, and I will give you rest. And it's found in Matthew 11:28. That just for me gives me a little bit of comfort, knowing that whenever I'm wearing myself thin, that I can always find comfort in my spirituality.
Well, and thank you for tuning in to our Tell All Tuesdays. We hope you enjoyed the episode. We'll have a new episode coming out on Friday. And if you like this episode, make sure that you subscribe and turn on your notifications. Go to Instagram, or you can like us at Facebook also at candid.motherhood. Thank you, and we'll talk to you soon, Candid Mamas. Thank you so much for listening to Candid Motherhood Podcast.
We hope you enjoyed today's episode. Please subscribe, share, and rate our podcast.
If you have any ideas for future episodes or want to learn more about us, please follow us on Facebook and Instagram at candid.motherhood and on Twitter at @cmotherhood.
We appreciate your love and support. Until next time, thank you, Candid Mamas.